Look at those white-rumped mule deer. We are in the Little Lost River Valley. This is October 13th, 1990, and the start of hunting season for such creatures. Good luck. We are going to hike in the Lost River Range today. That's King Mountain over there, which is our destination. And we're going to try to explore to the true summit of King Mountain by climbing up the bare ridge into the timber and then up along the ridge line to the true summit of King Mountain, which we will call the King's Crown, which is at about elevation 10,760 some feet high. The crest of the Lost River Range drops at Briggs Canyon, and then it regains elevation at the Ram's Horn, and there are the twins, the south twin, which we climbed as a first ascent a couple of weeks ago, 10,070 feet, and the north twin, 11 feet higher, which was climbed as a first ascent 2 years ago. The twins of the Lost River Range. King Mountain is fairly impressive when it's viewed from the Snake River Plain. Today our route is a ridge route, and we'll go up the treeless slope into the trees and then out of the trees along the snowy ridge and then to the summit. We are in the flat bottom, sagebrush filled glacial valley, looking at the summit of the King's Crown, and we'll start hiking shortly up the ridge. We're at the mouth of the canyon, and that's looking out into Little Lost River Valley. Our hike today started at elevation 6,700 feet, and our destination is 4,000 feet higher, so that makes this a fairly long, arduous climb, about average by Lost River Range standards, but still a good day's work. Now, a little trick to use in longer hikes like this is to break the work down into segments. Our first segment is this grassy steep slope that we're on, and that comprises about 1/3 of the hike. The next third will be forest, and then the final third will be ridge line above the trees. Here you can see the interface between grassy sagebrush slopes and the tree-covered forested area. For the second third of our climb, we head into the tree-covered ridge. As we take a look at our destination, the summit of King's Crown. We had an extremely windy day yesterday in the valley, and so far the wind has not been a problem. As we head up the tree-covered part of the route, we're at elevation 9,400 feet, and that's a view of the Big Southern Butte in the Snake River Plain. We've had to do a little scrambling on our ridge And we have some more tree cover up to the 10,000 foot point. And then we have the exposed ridge above tree line to the 10,760 foot summit, King's Crown. We're on the upper reaches of the tree-covered ridge, soon to be above timberline, as we look at the Arco Pass area to Jump Off Peak and Howe Peak, and beyond it the Snake River Plain. We have a weak sun today. I don't know how vivid the color will be, but looking over to Sunny Bar in the Little Lost Valley in the Lemhi Range, at least we're not socked in the clouds like it is over there. At tree line, we have completed the second of our 3 segments of our climb. Saddle Mountain, Mount Hoops, Tyler Peak, and then as we look at Shrill, from that point on, the Lemhis are hiding their heads today. And our road ahead shows tolerably good hiking. Certainly looks a lot better than last weekend, as we were slip sliding all over Portland Mountain. There's our summit. Let's enjoy it. King Mountain over there is shown to have an elevation of 10,612 feet, and I've climbed that 2 times from the other side. This is the rather impressive bowl between Kings Mountain and King's Crown that shows so prominently as a ski bowl from the Snake River Plain. The peak we're headed for, we're calling King's Crown because it is a whole 150 feet higher than King Mountain. Hence the crown, or the true summit. At this point the wind chill is below freezing, so my ability to work the camera is of short duration. I'm sure you're happy to hear that. Well, I saw human footprints in the snow just a little while back. They looked to be about a week old. Let's see if the other guy made it to the summit of King's Crown, which is awaiting us right now. Well, someone built a cairn before us, but it's still been a pleasure, so hike up here. And it is our opportunity to stand on this summit before winter sets in. This is October 14th. This may or may not be the last climb of the season before winter sets in. Some years I've been able to climb till the end of October. Other times mid-October signals the end. We're looking north along the spine of the Lost River Range. That is the Ramshorn Canyon, and beyond it we have the peak Jaggles, and beyond it South Twin, and just barely visible is North Twin. That's the Cedarville Canyon area. The lemhies are quite socked in today, I'm surprised. And we see the Nicholson Sunny Bar Ranch nestled against the lemhies. I had the opportunity to meet Mr. and Mrs. Nicholson 2 weeks ago in Rexburg. It was a pleasure. The peak that we are naming for them is just behind their ranch, Nicholson Peak, which is hiding in the clouds today. Of our summit, looking out to Jump Off Peak, Howe Peak, and the Snake River Plain in the background. There's the summit of King Mountain, which is not the high point in this massif. We're standing on it right now. In any event, I climbed King Mountain on New Year's Day of 1981, winter ascent of the Lost River Range, and then around 1985 I had the opportunity to hike up and ski down off the summit. That was when Joe Cannon came along with me. It's an impressive peak when viewed from Arco in the Lost River Valley. Here's the connecting ridge to King Mountain. We see the Lost River Valley before us, irrigated. As we look up valley towards Mackay, and if it were clear we could see Bora Peak from this angle. Well, it's about time to head down. We can consider ourselves fortunate today because all of the other peaks around us are getting socked in now. We've had the opportunity to have a view, a nice look around, and we will head back to the van, which is parked at that area which I will call Hunter's Junction. Seems all of the hunting vehicles aim for that point in the Little Lost River Valley. As we tromp down the mountain through the snow, we are beginning to anticipate ski season. It's getting cold enough. Now all we need is that nice precipitation. We're at about the 10,200 foot level, descending off of King's Crown, and here in a rather nondescript area is a benchmark. It says U.S. General Land Office marker 1939, which should make this a fairly old one, but why it's here in a non-prominent area I can't figure out. It does not show on my USGS topographical map either. Quite interesting. Howe, Idaho. This is Rick Bogger from In the Lost River Range. Have a great winter.